Dr. Langer, if you think that you have chronic fatigue or you're suffering from fatigue, how should you approach your doctor? What kind of lab work are you looking at?
Well, the first thing you should do, if you can, is to find someone who is nutritionally, holistically oriented and knows something about hormonal balancing, because as we've discussed privately, fatigue can very often be caused by many things that are not usually looked for in the traditional clinical evaluation. You should approach a doctor, and the doctor should go into a complete dietary evaluation with you. They should look at not only your nutritional status, because even if you're eating well and you're taking a wide variety of supplements, which I personally recommend that everyone does, you got to be absorbing them. So I mean, the next thing a doctor should look at is what is your digestion like? If once you're taking it in, even if you're growing it from the ground and eating it within 15 minutes, you've got to be digesting it in order for it to be used in your body. If you're suffering from chronic digestive problems, you have chronic constipation, if you have irritable bowel syndrome, if you have a variety of other things, you're not absorbing your nutrients. So you're not getting the nutrients to your body. And if your body is depleted in one or more chronically of the essential nutrients which are needed by every cell to function properly, sooner or later, the system is going to start to change. And the first sign of these changes is very often chronic fatigue.
So a doctor should be asking you basic questions like about your digestion, right?
Digestion and your diet, and, and what you're eating and whether or not you're depleted in nutrients. And then assuming for the sake of argument that your digestion is okay and your nutritional balance is okay and you're still tired, then they should look for other causes of fatigue, which are more related to hormonal balancing or to blood sugar balancing, and to rule these things out. A common cause of chronic fatigue is chronic thyroid problems. A hypo or underactive thyroid, very, very common in people, is a major cause of fatigue. Another cause of fatigue is just pure lack of sleep. You've got to get a lifestyle evaluation to see whether a person is sleeping and what their family situation is. Unfortunately, most doctors have 15 or 20 minutes, or maybe if they're doing an initial evaluation 30 or 40 minutes, and really are not able to get to the crux of what's going on. Follow-up visits can be 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, most people who are tired can barely open their mouths in 5 to 10 minutes. So, I mean, you cannot present to the doctor very often all of the different chronic parameters of what's going into your lifestyle and what's causing the chronic fatigue, which is absolutely essential to be able to address it. Another common thing that I do in my practice with people who are chronically fatigued is I tell them to go to a chain drugstore and get a glucometer. Those are the meters that diabetics use to monitor their blood sugar. And I don't believe that any of these people, or very few of them, are diabetic. I haven't seen one yet, but I want to see the way they're handling their blood sugar, and this is the easiest thing to do. So if a person says all of a sudden 3 o'clock comes every day and the bottom falls out of my energy, they have their glucometer there and they can do a blood sugar check to see whether or not their blood sugar is dropping, to see whether or not they have low blood sugar. And they can use this symptomatically. I tell them not to do it 100 times a day, but if there's an event that really makes them stand up, take a blood sugar and see whether it correlates with a blood sugar change. Or the second thing is I have them do what's called a glucose tolerance test. They wake up in the morning, take a fasting blood sugar, then they would eat a substantial breakfast, and then every hour for 6 hours they would take another blood sugar without eating. Two blood sugars the first hour, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and then every hour through 6 hours, and then graph what their blood sugar is doing over 6 hours to see how their body is handling energy. Frequently we'll find abnormalities in blood sugar which can be corrected. So when you look for the blood sugar abnormalities, you look for the hormonal abnormalities, you look for the nutritional digestive abnormalities, and then you correct or make suggestions about lifestyle changes, and people can do what they can do and make these changes, very often their energy starts to improve and they become happier and more productive.